don't know what person who doesn't need to be in the hospital be in the hospital for 5 days. You know, I wish I would have known, if I'm being honest. Because I heard that somebody told me that he was showing text, so now I can show a text. And please don't, I blocked you. I don't engage. I'm not going to say your name. Just don't talk about me. I don't want anything else to do with you. You're not my friend. Okay, you don't like me. I'm a muppet. I'm a snagger too. You're right, I'm a snagger too. I have teeth, but I can't chew. Can you imagine how that feels? I'm a muppet. Yeah, I look like a muppet. I'm a muppet.
It all started with a sentence that no one could have predicted would come out of Tamar Braxton's mouth on a late-night live show. Her voice shaky, her eyes darting across the screen, she asked her followers again and again, "What's the drama? Somebody tell me what the drama is. What's the drama that I did in that instant?" The woman who had spent her career unfiltered, unapologetic, and loud, suddenly looked terrified, like she'd lost control of the very fire she had always been known for igniting. The comments flooded in instantly. Fans rushed to type words of support, others wildly speculating, and bloggers clipping every second. That night, Tamar wasn't just entertaining, she became the headline. And the question lingered, was this a genuine cry for help? Or was it a calculated performance? The shocking twist came almost immediately. Reports began to circulate that Toni Braxton, the usually composed and dignified eldest sister, had finally reached her breaking point, allegedly. Toni wasn't just worried, she was preparing to act. Whispers claimed she was ready to force Tamar into a mental hospital if her spiral didn't stop. For fans, this revelation hit like a bombshell. To see Toni, the quiet powerhouse, step into Tamar's chaos so drastically felt unthinkable. But as days passed and receipts piled up, deleted posts, leaked screenshots, and viral commentary, the rumor no longer seemed like speculation. It looked like the only option the Braxton family had to survive Tamar's unraveling, because make no mistake, Tamar's breakdown wasn't just emotional, it was public, it was messy, and it was relentless. In just a matter of weeks, she had cancelled her album, feuded with Funky Dineva, been accused of getting too close to Mendes, hinted at near-death injuries, and then, like nothing had happened, teased brand new music. The contradictions were dizzying. One day, she was a victim, laid up in a hospital bed, claiming she could barely breathe. The next, she was dropping polished trailers for her EP, Heartbreak Retrograde. Fans didn't know what to believe. Some stood firmly in her corner, insisting Tamar was being unfairly targeted. Others echoed Funky Dineva's scathing words that this was nothing more than a cheap PR stunt, and he was the collateral damage. Funky Dineva's rant became the first real crack in the public's support for Tamar on his show. He laid it all out, how they had been out together, how he went home alone, and how he woke up to thousands of people accusing him of hurting her. "I logged on to do my show," he said. 7,000 people were waiting, screaming, "Tell us what you did to Tamar." And she let them believe it. The betrayal in his voice was palpable. Funky didn't just call Tamar messy, he accused her of weaponizing her pain and sacrificing him to feed her narrative. "I was collateral damage in a two-bit PR stunt," he declared. "Tamar, you didn't even clear my name. You let me drown." His words cut deep, and suddenly, people began to see the cracks in Tamar's story. But what truly pushed this saga into dangerous territory wasn't Funky's shade. It was Tamar's own response. Instead of calming the waters, she poured gasoline on the fire. She let rumors of an affair with Mendes circulate unchecked. She fueled speculation by staying silent as blurry lounge photos of her and Mendes cuddling went viral. She posted cryptic captions, deleted them, then returned with something even more dramatic. And then came the post that froze even her most loyal supporters. Tamar claimed she had almost died, listing injuries that sounded catastrophic: a fractured nose, missing teeth, without ever explaining how it happened. The timing of the post, just days before her EP teaser, felt suspicious, even to those who usually defended her. By now, Toni Braxton was watching everything unfold in horror. The Braxton family had always been dramatic, but this was different. This was self-destruct playing out in real time. Family insiders whispered that Toni had tried to stay neutral, tried to let Tamar ride out her storm, but the chaos was becoming impossible to ignore. Tamar wasn't just embarrassing herself. She was dragging the Braxton name and family legacy into the mud, and Toni, who had spent decades building her career on professionalism and grace, allegedly wasn't willing to let that happen. That's when the talk of a forced intervention began. The family tension boiled over. In one of the most uncomfortable counseling sessions ever caught on camera, sitting across from Towanda Braxton, Tamar lashed out. She accused Towanda of not caring about her, of making more effort to stay connected with Trina and Toni than with her. The air was thick with resentment as Tamar listed birthdays and phone calls she claimed had been ignored. Tawanda defended herself, insisting that wasn't true. But Tamar's bitterness was undeniable. She even went so far as to say Tawanda only reached out when filming, implying her own sister treated her like nothing more than a storyline. For viewers, it was painful to watch. For bloggers, it was confirmation that Tamar's pain wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal, rooted in years of feeling neglected and overshadowed. And then came Tamar's social media posts, the ones that shattered any illusion of unity. She posted about her family being toxic, about being gaslight, about needing to go back into treatment. At one point, she even wrote, "I don't know if my life can be spared, my family is awful." The words were chilling, whether they were genuine cries for help or dramatic exaggerations. They made the situation untenable. Fans panicked, trolls mocked, and bloggers speculated nonstop. Suddenly, the narrative shifted from Tamar being the center of drama to Toni being the only one who could stop the implosion. The tension reached another level when Tamar posted surveillance footage of her car being broken into. The grainy video showed figures ransacking her vehicle in the parking garage of her apartment building. But it wasn't the footage that sparked outrage, it was the caption. Tamar wrote, "I got robbed at home. I'm not safe anywhere. I don't live anywhere. I don't have anyone." That last line sent shivers across the internet. Was Tamar saying she was homeless, that her family had abandoned her, that she was completely alone? The contradictions didn't add up. Just a week earlier, she had flaunted luxury designer bags on live, yet now she was posting like she was destitute. Funky. Geneva pounced on the contradiction, mocking Tamar with a scathing line, "Not you homeless with Chanel in the trunk. Make it make sense." His words went viral, reshared across blogs, TikTok edits, and Twitter threads, fueling the growing belief that Tamar was exaggerating her struggles for attention. But whether people believed her or not, one thing was clear: every move Tamar made was adding fuel to the fire, and the family's silence was no longer an option. That's when whispers about Toni Braxton took on a sharper edge. Sources claimed Toni wasn't just worried anymore, she was done. Done with the meltdowns, done with the contradictions, done with the Braxton name being dragged through the mud, allegedly. She was already in talks with doctors and lawyers, exploring the possibility of forcing Tamar into treatment. To some, this looked like a protective sister finally stepping in. To others, it felt like the ultimate betrayal. After all, what's more devastating than your own blood taking legal steps to strip away your control? That clash became the emotional centerpiece of the Feud. Tamar posted about being silenced. Ashley hinted at betrayal, and fans took the family's fracture and turned it into trending topics. What had once been whispers about Tamar spiraling now grew into a larger question. Was the Braxton family burying their secrets by sacrificing Tamar? The answer seemed to come in blurred text messages leaked on a gossip blog. The screenshots showed Tamar messaging a close friend, "They want me quiet. They don't want me to say what really happened. Toni is behind all of it if I disappear." No, they did it. The authenticity was impossible to verify. But the internet didn't care. Conspiracy theories sprouted overnight. Hashtags like #SaveTamar from Toni trended worldwide and in the court of public opinion. Toni wasn't the savior anymore, she was the villain orchestrating Tamar's silence. Meanwhile, Toni Braxton said nothing. No posts, no interviews, no comments. Her silence became a strategy in the eyes of bloggers, who dissected it like a chess move. Some argued she refused to stoop to Tamar's level. Others insisted her silence was confirmation that the rumors were true. Either way, Toni became the calm in the storm, a quiet matriarch surrounded by chaos she was allegedly controlling. The betrayal deepened when Junior, Tamar's ex, dropped a cryptic post on Instagram. "Sometimes people you love will weaponize their pain until it destroys everything around them. At some point, you have to walk away." He didn't name Tamar, but fans didn't need names. They flooded his comments, accusing him of kicking her while she was down, while others applauded him for finally speaking his truth. For Tamar, the timing was devastating. She had lost her marriage, her sister's support, and now even her ex was painting her as toxic. By now, social media was in full-on frenzy. One side accused Toni and the sisters of gaslighting Tamar and covering up family secrets. The other side slammed Tamar for exploiting trauma for PR, dragging everyone down with her. Bloggers held panels, debating whether this was a mental health crisis or a masterclass in manipulation. Memes mocked Tamar's contradictions, while think pieces compared her situation to Britney Spears, calling it a modern-day family conservatorship. But the betrayal didn't only come from the outside, it was whispered from within, insiders claimed. Toni had already contacted lawyers and doctors to secure the right to force Tamar into treatment. Then came the rumor that sealed documents were already in existence. Blurred screenshots of alleged legal forms began circulating, names redacted, but dates matching Tamar's breakdowns, whether real or fabricated. The documents gave the storyline its darkest edge yet. The idea that Toni had already taken legal steps made the internet explode. Was Toni saving her sister? Or was she silencing her? Was this love? Or was it control for fans? The answers didn't matter. What mattered was that the Braxton empire was crumbling in real time, and Tamar was caught in the middle screaming for help, demanding attention, drowning in betrayal. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any worse, whispers of a face-to-face confrontation began to surface. Bloggers hinted that Toni and Tamar were headed for a showdown that would decide once and for all whether this was salvation or sabotage. The question wasn't if it would happen, it was when. The rumors about sealed documents and secret legal moves had the internet holding its breath. But nothing could prepare fans for when the Braxton feud reached its breaking point. For weeks, the rumor mill spun out of control, but then came the big reveal. Insiders close to the family leaked that Toni had indeed sat down with medical professionals and lawyers, exploring her options to have Tamar forcibly admitted for treatment. Whether the paperwork had been finalized or not didn't even matter. The story exploded, fueling headlines, reaction videos, and endless debates. Suddenly, the quiet, poised Toni was being painted as the ultimate power player, either the sister who saved Tamar from self-destructs or the cold-hearted matriarch who would silence her own blood to protect the family brand. The reveal hit fans like a slap. Overnight, the narrative shifted. Tamar's deleted texts about "if I disappear, no they did it" took on a terrifying new meaning. Screenshots of blurred documents circulated again, this time with bold captions like "proof Toni moved against Tamar." Bloggers dissected every angle. Some swore the move was an act of mercy, while others screamed it was betrayal of the highest order. Twitter threads stretched for miles, analyzing every Braxton sister move. One viral tweet read, "If Toni forces Tamar into a hospital, it's not protection, it's punishment." Another countered, "Toni is doing what the rest of them are too scared to do. Tamar needs help, period." The emotional weight deepened when Tamar herself returned to Instagram Live. Her voice cracked, tears streaming as she said, "Y'all think this is about me needing help, but this is about control. My sister would rather lock me up than face the truth about what this family has done. And I'll say it right now, if they put me away, it's because they don't want me to speak." Those words echoed like both a confession and a warning. Fans clipped the live, bloggers reposted it, and within hours, hashtags like #SaveTamar and #TonyExposed were trending side by side. The Braxton family wasn't just trending, they were dominating the internet. Then came the fallout. Fans began digging up old clips, resurfacing moments from Braxton family values, where Toni Braxton rolled her eyes at Tamar's antics, where Trina muttered about being tired of her meltdowns, and where Tawanda flat out said she didn't trust her sister's version of events. Rewatching those clips now, people claimed the signs had been there all along, that the family had been preparing to cut Tamar off, or worse, force her hand. Others argued the opposite, saying the clips showed years of Tamar spiraling and her sisters quietly carrying her weight until they finally broke. The Braxton brand was splitting down the middle, and the internet was amplifying every crack. Bloggers didn't hold back either. Funky Deneva doubled down, saying, "Listen, Toni is doing what needs to be done. Tamar has been spiraling for years, and the rest of them are too scared to step up. Toni's the only one with the backbone to check her." His words went viral again, fueling the side that saw Toni as a savior. But just as quickly, other voices rose to counter him. One popular blogger snapped, "This isn't saving, this is silencing." Tamar was speaking up about Ashley, about the family's secrets, and suddenly there's talk of hospitals and legal papers? Y'all can't see the setup. Fans were divided, and the divide grew nastier by the day. Comment sections turned into war zones. Some shouted "protect Tamar," while others insisted "trust Toni." The Braxton family wasn't just in crisis, they had become the internet's favorite boxing match, with each side convinced they had the truth. And in the middle of it all was Tamar, still posting, still deleting, still fighting to control the narrative as it slipped further away from her. The most dramatic fallout came when paparazzi caught Toni Braxton outside a restaurant. Cameras flashed, questions flew. "Toni, are you forcing Tamar into treatment? Did you file papers against your sister?" Toni didn't answer. She kept her head down, lips pressed tight, sliding into her car without a word. But that silence spoke volumes. To fans, it was confirmation. To skeptics, it was a strategy. Either way, it was gasoline on a fire already blazing. Meanwhile, the sisters remained divided. Tawanda avoided the press, saying only, "Family business is family business." Trina snapped at reporters, rolling her eyes when Tamar's name came up, and Toni maintained her wall of silence. But Tamar, she refused to go quiet on another live show. She looked into the camera and declared, "I will never let them erase me. They can put me in a hospital. They can take away my freedom. But they will never take away my truth, and when I get out, I'm telling everything." That declaration flipped the narrative. Now, fans weren't just worried about Tamar's mental health, they were convinced she held secrets that could destroy the Braxton legacy forever. Reddit threads filled with speculation. What did Tamar know? What was she threatening to reveal? Was the Ashley story only the tip of the iceberg? Suddenly, the storyline wasn't just about one sister spiraling, it was about a family empire, at risk of collapsing under the weight of its own secrets, and just when it seemed the fire couldn't burn any hotter, a gossip blog dropped a blurred audio recording. The clip, allegedly of Tamar in a heated phone call, captured a panicked voice saying, "They're coming for me. Tony's behind it. They think they can shut me up, but I've got everything saved. If they put me away, the world will know." The source of the audio remained hidden, the details vague, but the damage was done. The recording went viral instantly. Fans dissected every second, arguing whether the voice was really Tamar's or a fake. But the truth didn't matter, the implication did. Tamar had receipts, and she was prepared to drop them if Toni Braxton went through with her plan. The internet exploded. YouTube reactors, Twitter threads, TikTok edits, everyone was talking about the audio. Some believed it was Tamar's desperate attempt to save herself. Others thought it was staged for sympathy. But one thing was clear, the Braxton family wasn't just in turmoil, they were in freefall. And as fans sat glued to their screens, the only question left was the one Tamar herself had planted: if she disappears, what truth is a family hiding?